Hello, criminal justice fans, criminal law in particular. Ken Huck's coming to you from beautiful downtown Wentworth. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 7, assaults. I'm going to try to keep this to 5 minutes, as this will be a short session. And a simple assault is when someone commits an assault on another. Now, an assault is not an assault and battery. Assault can be merely putting someone in threat of them being harmed. So it can just be a threat, that kind of thing, as long as the person truly believes it. Now, when you're talking about assault, most people are actually thinking of assault and battery. Assault and battery includes the assault or threatening someone. It also includes the battery when you actually touch someone. Now, you do not have to put somebody's eye out. You do not have to hit somebody. The touching battery part can be as simple as a harmful or offensive touching. So a harmful or offensive touching may be just as simple as a assault where somebody grabs somebody inappropriately or something like that. That would rise to the level of assault and battery, harmful or offensive touching. It can also be touching indirectly. So in that case, you would have a legal fiction. So say you're walking down the street with your pocketbook and a mugger comes by and grabs the strap and pulls you to the ground. They don't actually touch you. That would be a constructive assault. Another silly example, you're riding on a horse, somebody hits the horse takes off, you fall off. That would be also an example of a constructive battery. Didn't actually touch you, but touched the third person or third animal. In this case, we have assault inflicting serious injury. What I want you to do here is to look at what the serious injuries are. Of course, they include things like gunshot wounds and head injuries, but they give you a detailed list. So look at that on page 115 and 116. Now, they have serious bodily injury and serious injury. I want you to look at the difference there. Serious bodily injury is more serious than just inflicting serious injury. So inflicting serious bodily injury is more dangerous. They also have assault by strangulation. You can look at that. And then I want you to look on pages 121, 122, and they talk about what deadly weapons are. Assault with a deadly weapon. They define those. It goes everything from obviously a gun to a dog to a box cutter to a rock. And all of this is common law defined by the courts as to what a dangerous weapon is. Then I ask you about, in our writing assignment, what was assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill? I'm giving you an answer to one of the questions there. And then we have assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and inflicting serious injury. So again, you need to look back at that and find out what a serious injury was or is considered to be. Assault by pointing a gun. Here I'm going to answer another one of your questions you may have. Assault by pointing a gun can be even in jest, because the important part here is you're looking at the mindset of the person who the gun is being pointed at. So assault by pointing a gun, even if you're doing it and you're just playing around, if that person seriously thinks you're pointing the gun at them to shoot them, that is enough for assault by pointing a gun to be charged. Discharging weapons into property, that's covered. And then we have assault on a female. Assault on a female is a sex-specific crime. It must be a male that commits this. It might be some other kind of assault, but it won't be a AOF, as we call in law enforcement, assault on a female, unless it's a male who's at least 18 years of age and they committed assault on a female. So that's very, very specific there. Then they have an assault against children. Look at those. They talk about the nature of assault on handicapped persons is rising to the levels of felonies now. Assault on government officials, assault on police officers, assault on other kind of officers. And then they have malicious conduct by a prisoner, and this is usually a fairly new law where they're talking about including throwing of projectiles on to people. So that is now a felony. So spitting from a inmate onto an officer would fall under this category, malicious conduct by a prisoner. and would be rise to the level of a felony. Now, also know it's not covered against somebody who's not an employee or someone else. Even another inmate is not the same thing. It has to be an employee. Okay, we had a lot of that going on in the correctional system, and so they specifically addressed it. Assault on school officials, assault on firefighters, assault on emergency personnel, habitual misdemeanor assault. It includes now that can rise to the level of felony for somebody who commits multiple assaults and continues to commit assaults. And finally, in Chapter 7, we have ethnic intimidation, and this is a hate crime kind of thing. Look at the ethnic intimidation section. If you are intimidating somebody based on their race, color, religion, nationality, or country of origin, any of those will get you a hate crime. Potential hate crime also is a sentencing enhancements, as we talked about earlier. Enhancements would be something that would add to your sentence. In this case, could be up to 60 months or 5 years if the act is committed, the assault that is committed in one of these hate crimes, hate categories. It's also against the law to teach ethnic intimidation, and they cover that on page 163. Thank you. That's all for Chapter 7. See you in Chapter 8.